Daf Yomi, Tractate Chullin, page 6a, with the words V'isol kedaitech lo kabla mineh. V'isol kedaitech lo kabla mineh lishanele. Kan shebiYisrael lo yomer al gabov, kan she'en Yisrael lo yomer al gabov. Elo la shma mino kabla bnei shma mino. And if it enters your mind that Rabbi Zera did not accept from Rabbi Yaakov bar Edi that Rabban Gamliel prohibited eating from the slaughter of a Samaritan, even when a Jew was standing over him, let Rabbi Zera resolve the matter for himself in a different manner. Here, where Rabbi Yochanan ate from the slaughter of a Samaritan, it was when a Jew was standing over him. There, where Rabban Gamliel prohibited eating from the slaughter of a Samaritan, it was when a Jew was standing over him. Rather, must one not conclude from it that Rabbi Zera accepted the response from Rabbi Yaakov bar Edi? The Gemara affirms, indeed, learn this from it. Umay time agazu bahu rabbanon ki ha de Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar Shadre Rabbi Meir liasoye chamra mibe husae ashkacha husaba amar le besamta sakin beloecha im baal nefesh ata. Halach Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar v'siper devarim lefnei Rabbi Meir v'gazar alein. The Gemara asks, and what is the reason that the sages Rabban Gamliel and his court issued a decree rendering it prohibited to eat from the slaughter of Samaritans? The Gemara answers, it is like that case involving Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar, in which Rabbi Meir dispatched him to bring wine from the area of the Samaritans. A certain elder found him and said to him, "And put a knife to your throat if you are a man given to appetite." Proverbs 23 verse 2, as a warning to distance himself from them and not to drink their wine because they were not reliable. Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar went and related those matters before Rabbi Meir, and Rabbi Meir issued a decree against them. My time, Amar Rabbi Nachman bar Yitzchak, Demus Yona, Matzu lahem berosh hagrizim, שהיו עובדין עושה, דרבי מאיר לטעמי, דחיה חייש למאותה, וגזר רובה עטו מאותה, ורבן גמליאל ובית דינו נמי כרבי מאיר סבירה להו. What is the reason that the Samaritans are deemed unreliable? Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak said, at the peak of Mount Gerizim, they found the image of a dove, which the Samaritan residents of Mount Gerizim would worship. And Rabbi Meir issued the decree according to his line of reasoning that he takes the minority into consideration. And therefore, despite the fact that the majority of Samaritans did not live on Mount Gerizim, he issued a decree rendering meat slaughtered by the majority forbidden due to the minority that worshipped that idol. And Rabban Gamliel and his court also hold in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Meir. Hashate dikra b'maikiti b'talmid hayoshev lifnei rabbo t'tanei Rabbi Chia ki teshev lilchon et Moshel ben Tavin Et asher lefanecha v'samta sakin beloecha im baal nefesh ata. The Gemara asks as to the plain meaning of that verse, and put a knife to your throat if you are a man given to appetite. With regard to what matter is it written? The Gemara answers, it is written with regard to a student who is sitting before his teacher, as he must consider his words carefully. As Rabbi Chia teaches a Braita interpreting the verse, as Rabbi Chia teaches a Braita interpreting the verse, when you sit to eat to eat. When you sit to eat with a ruler, consider well him that is before you, and put a knife to your throat, if you are a man given to appetite. It's Proverbs 23, 1-2. Im yodea talmid berabosh yodea lachazir lo tam bin, v'im lav tavin, et asher lefanecha, v'samta sakin belohecha, im bal nefesh ata paros himenu. The Tana explains the verse. If a student knows about his teacher, that he knows to respond to him with a reasoned answer, seek wisdom from him. And if the student believes that the teacher is not capable of doing so, understand who is sitting before you and put a knife to your throat and refrain from embarrassing him with questions that he cannot answer. And if you are a man given to appetite and you seek to answer your question, distance yourself from him. Rabbi Yitzchak bar Yosef, Shadre Rabbi Abahu lesoye chamra mi bekusae ashkechea usabam amar le let kan shomrei Torah halach Rabbi Yitzchak v'siper devarim lefnei Rabbi Abahu halach Rabbi Abahu v'siper devarim lefnei Rabbi Ami v'Rabbi Asi v'lo zazu misham ad she'asa'um goyim gemurim. Rabbi Abahu dispatched Rabbi Yitzchak ben Yosef to bring wine from the area of the Samaritans. A certain elder found him and said to him, the people here are not keepers of the Torah. Rabbi Yitzchak went and related the matters before Rabbi Abahu, and Rabbi Abahu went and related the matters before Rabbi Ami and Rabbi Asi. And they did not move from there until they rendered the Samaritans full-fledged Gentiles. Lemai ilishchita v'nesach miasum gazru b'ol rabanan inhu gazru b'lo kimru b'nayu ato Rabbi Ami v'Rabbi Asi gazeru b'kablu b'nayu. The Gemara asks, for what matters did those sages render them full-fledged Gentiles? If it was to prohibit eating from their slaughter, and to render their wine as wine used for elevation in idol worship, these prohibitions were issued previously. From the generations of Rabbi Meir and Rabban Gamliel, the sages issued a decree prohibiting them. The Gemara answers, they issued a decree and the people did not accept it from them. Rabbi Ami and Rabbi Asi came and issued a decree and the people accepted it from them. My goyim gemurim, Amar Rab Nachman bar Yitzchak, lebatel reshus, v'liten reshus. The Gemara answers, what is the meaning of full-fledged Gentiles? Rabbi Nachman bar Yitzchak said it means that the halachic status of a Samaritan is like that of a Gentile with regard to renouncing his domain in a jointly owned courtyard on Shabbat and to transferring his domain in the courtyard to residents of that courtyard. V'cheditanya Yisrael mishuma d'mishamer Shabbat o bashuk mivatel reshus v'noisen reshus v'sheinu mishamer Shabbat o bashuk eino mivatel reshus v'noisen reshus. And this is as it is taught in a Braita with regard to a Jewish transgressor who nevertheless observes his Shabbat in the marketplace, meaning in public, if you fail to establish a joining of houses in a courtyard before Shabbat. His halachic status is that of an observant Jew, and he may renounce his domain in the courtyard and transfer his domain in the courtyard. But a transgressor who does not observe his Shabbat in the marketplace may neither renounce his domain in the courtyard nor transfer his domain in the courtyard. This is because the sages said only a Jew may verbally transfer rights in his domain or renounce his rights in his domain, but with regard to a Gentile, the other residents cannot establish a joining of courtyards unless the residents of the courtyard lease his domain from him. The halachic status of one who publicly desecrates Shabbat is that of a Gentile. Ketzad amar lo reshuti k'noelach רשותי מעוטלת לך. קנה ואינו צורך לזכויס. How does a Jew transfer or renounce his domain? If a Jew says to his neighbor, my domain is transferred to you, or my domain is renounced to you, his neighbor has acquired his domain, and it is unnecessary for him to grant it to his neighbor by means of one of the standard modes of acquisition. Rabbi Zera, Rabbi Asi, iklahu lepundika diyae. Aito lekamaehu. Beitzim hametzumakos biyayin. Rabbi Zera lo achal, ורבי אסי אכל. אמר לה רבי זרע לרבי אסי ולא חיה שמע לתערובס דמאי. אמר לה לאו עדתי. The Gemara revisits the statement that the righteous would not experience mishaps. Rabbi Zera and Rabbi Asi happened to come to the inn of the town of Ya'eh. In the inn, they brought before these sages eggs that shriveled after being cooked in wine. Rabbi Zera did not eat the eggs, and Rav Asi ate them. Rabbi Zera said to Rav Asi, and is the master not concerned about the possibility that the dish is a mixture containing wine that is doubtfully tithed produce? Rav Asi said to him, it did not enter my mind. Amar Rabbi Zera, efshar gazu al toives temai, umisataya minta. Rav Asi lemechal esua. Hasht behem nishotanikim en Baruch Hu maybe takala yudan. Tzadikim atzbanu koshre. Rabbi Zera said to himself, is it possible that the sages issued a decree on a mixture containing demai, and the matter eventuated that Rav Asi ate forbidden food? Now, since even with regard to the animals of the righteous, the Holy One, blessed be He, does not generate mishaps through them, is it not all the more so true that the righteous themselves would not experience mishaps? Nafak Rabbi Zera dag yeshkachtet nan lokeach yain asef lesoich hamurayas oletoch ha'aluntis karashinin la'asas mihem techinin adashim la'asos mihem resisin chayav mishum demai. Rabbi Zera emerged, analyzed, and found that no mishap was generated through Rav Asi, as we learned in a brisa in Tosefta Demai 124. In the case of one who purchases wine to place into fish gravy, or into aluntit, a beverage in which wine is mixed, or one who purchases vetch to prepare grist from it, or lentils to prepare groats from it, if it is uncertain whether what he purchased is tithes, for example, he bought it from one who is unreliable with regard to tithes, one is obligated to tithe it due to the fact that it is demai. Needless to say, if it is certain that what he purchased is not tithe, he's obligated to tithe it due to the fact that it is certain that it is untithed produce. And they themselves, the gravy, aluntit, grist, and groats, that one purchased from Haaretz are permitted because they are a mixture. Since only one element of the mixture must be tied, the food is permitted. The Gemara asks, and is it so that the sages did not issue a decree on mixtures containing divine? But isn't it taught in Braita with regard to one who gives his neighbor, who is an Am Haaretz, dough to bake and gives her leaven for the dough to rise, or gives her pot of food and the spices to cook it? He need not be concerned about the leaven and the spices that are in the dough and the pot, respectively, that perhaps she replaced them with her own, neither with regard to the possibility that they are sabbatical year produce, nor with regard to the possibility that the time was not separated. V'imam marla asili misherichi choshesh liseor v'tavlin sheba mishum shvi'it u'mishum maaser. And if he says to her, prepare the dough or the food for me, with your own leaven and spices, he must be concerned about the leaven and the spices that are in the dough and the pot respectively, with regard to the possibility that they are sabbatical year produce, and with regard to the possibility that the tithe was not separated, even though it is a mixture containing divine. Shani hasam nekeh v'dekamale asili mishirichi keman de'orev yadayim dami. Rafram amar shani seor v'tavlin di'tameh avi v'tamah lo batil. The Gemara answers, it is different there, as since he said to her, prepare the dough or the food for me from your own. It is like one who mixed it by direct action. Rafram said, I wonder if this is Rafram Bar Papa or just plain Rafram, who knows. Rafram said, leaven and spices are different, as each of them is made for the purpose of adding taste to the mixture, and taste is not nullified in a mixture. Ulachalofe lo chashinan. Yatzanan anotin lachmoto maser et shehu noten la v'et shehu noten mimena mipnei shachashuda machlefes haviskalkel hatan kiditanya ta'ama. Amar Rav Yehuda rotzehi bitakanat bita ubosha mechatana. The Gemara asks, and are we not concerned about replacement of the ingredients that he gave his neighbor with her own? But didn't we learn that in Mishnah and Demai 3:6, one who gives dough to his mother-in-law who is suspect with regard to tithing, so that she will prepare it for him, must tithe everything that he gives her and everything that he takes back from her. This is because she is suspected of replacing an ingredient that spoils. The Gemara answers, there the reason is like it is taught explicitly in the Mishnah that Rabbi Yehuda said the mother-in-law desires her daughter's well-being and wants to ensure that she eats quality food, and is reticent to tell her son-in-law that she replaced the ingredients that spoiled. Okay. Let's stop here. And this is 6a. Stop here.